You do need to own all these 10 items to be classified as a gentleman. A while back, I did a video on 10 items that only gentlemen have, but the ones on this list are absolute must-haves. Item number 1, a Swiss watch. Now, I can already hear the hate comments coming in about Seiko or Casio. And yes, I will admit I've never experienced those two brands, but in my opinion, a quality watch should be Swiss made. Now, I'm not saying Seiko and Casio are bad watches. Again, I'm not the watch expert. But for me at least, every gentleman should have a Swiss watch. Now, there's really multiple types of watches. There's dress watches, there's diver watches, aviator watches, field watches, smart watches, but come on, we're better than that. I mean, let me know what your opinion on smartwatches is in the comments, but I personally wouldn't wear one outside of the gym. And there are really 3 rules that you need to keep in mind when wearing watches. First of all, you always, and I mean literally always, have to match the leather of your watch belt to the leather of your shoes, belt, and other accessories made out of leather. Second of all, if you can, and this is not really a rule, more of a guideline, let's say, if you can, match the metals as well. It will be best to only wear one single sort of metal in your entire outfit. And I know I'm contradicting myself here because this ring is clearly made out of silver and I've combined it with golden cufflinks. It's not a hard and fast rule, it's more of a guideline, but one that you should be implementing if you want to look as good as possible. And third of all, please never go for fake watches or cheap watches. I mean, the least you can spend is, let's say, 200, 300 euros on a Tissot. It's really not that expensive, anyone can afford it. But don't just go to Walmart and buy a watch for $20. And if I had to recommend some personal favorites of mine, I would have to say Tissot, if you're more of an entry level, Omega, if you have some money to spend, or IWC, International Watch Company. Those are my 3 go-tos usually. Before we continue, hello there. My name is Stefan and I help young men improve their confidence by improving their style, their wardrobe, and even their lifestyle. If you enjoy this content, be sure to give me a like. I would highly appreciate it. Also, let me know what your favorite watch in your whole collection is. I would love to hear about it in the comments. In my previous video, I got so many nice comments about heirlooms that my subscribers have, and I would love to hear your story. Item number 2, a tailored full cut suit. Now, what do I mean by full cut? Well, there's a few attributes that a suit must have in order to be considered a full cut. For example, the jacket has to be a bit longer than what you can find nowadays in stores. It has to go all the way past your rear end. Let me rephrase that. It has to go all the way past your backside so it's not visible. The pants should be high-rise so that they rest on your waist and not on your hips. And they also should be a bit fuller and not skinny. The opening should also be somewhere, let's say, between 20 and 22, 23 centimeters. Now, clearly a full cut suit is much more than that. I'm just giving you some main points. And what is a tailored suit, to be exact? Well, the best choice that you can go for is a fully bespoke suit, but that will probably set you back about 3,000 to 5,000 euros if you're not going for Savile Row or even Ask Oki, where they're much more expensive. Secondly, I would go for made to measure. This is much cheaper than a fully bespoke suit, but it's still done exactly the way you want it, fabrics, design, everything, and to fit you perfectly. Third of all, I would go for a vintage suit. And lastly, I would not really go for an off-the-rack suit, especially not from Hugo Boss or other fashion brands like that. They are cheaper, that's true. Actually no, because you're just gonna find a vintage suit for that price, so yeah, don't go for off-the-rack. I also want to take a minute to talk about why most suits nowadays, especially the modern ones, are so awful. And basically that's for 2 considerants. First of all, it's because brands are really trying to cut down as much as possible on costs. So they end up making more skinny suits that feature less fabric and selling them for even higher prices than in the past. I mean, just think about it. If they cut from the width of the pants, if they cut from the length of the jacket, all those things save them fabric in the long run. Secondly, of course, we have fashion trends, and suits have become much skinnier over the decades, even though from what I'm seeing right now, we're going a bit back in time to the 80s when suits were a bit more fuller cut than they are nowadays. And why should a man wear a suit nowadays? Well, I'm gonna give you 4 points. First of all, it encourages that V-taper that men are very attractive when they exhibit. Now, if you do not have a bunch of muscles, if you're not jacked, you will never feel more comfortable and more confident than when you're wearing a suit. Sure, if you're full of muscles, if you're pumped up, then yeah, you're gonna look better shirtless. I agree. But chances are you're not. Third of all, it structures your shoulders and it can actually make you appear taller if you're wearing a suit properly and with the right socks. And last but not least, it's simply a huge confidence booster. And finally, when it comes to suits, how many suits should you actually have? Well, I answered this question right here in this video. Honestly, every gentleman should have a proper suit. But that's actually not the most important item on this list. Item number 3, a signature fragrance. Now, it is often said that women will remember and judge a man by the way that he smells. So wouldn't you want to smell your best? And here's a little trick for you. Go to Sephora or Douglas or whatever other shop you have nearby that sells perfumes and try on different fragrances and see what fits you best, what you like the most, and maybe even document yourself online before and search up what the best, most attractive fragrances for men are in 2025. There's so many videos online. Then pick up a few fragrances that you like best and try them on. I will shortly give you my favorites. Then pick a fragrance that you like the most. Afterwards, pick another fragrance. I always say that men should have at least 2 fragrances in their day-to-day rotation. And that means, well, you can either do it summer and winter, or you can do it day and night. And for summer/day, you want something a bit lighter, maybe a bit more citrusy. Whereas for nights or winters, you want something a bit darker. My favorite fragrances are both by Tom Ford, and you have Neroli Portofino for the summer/daytime, and Tuscan Leather for night times or during the winter. Also, something that you should also try doing, and I'm guilty of this myself, do not choose to store your fragrances in the bathroom. The steam that comes out of the shower when you're taking a hot shower might as well ruin your perfumes. So store them somewhere chill where the temperatures are not that fluctuant. Item number 4, a leather briefcase. Now picture this, you're putting on your favorite 100% woolen suit. You're tying up your favorite 100% silk tie and applying a few dashes of Tom Ford fragrance. Then you get your backpack on. Look, there was a time and a place for backpacks, and it was called middle school. Time to move on, gentlemen. Otherwise, you can definitely still wear backpacks when you're doing sports, for example, or when you're going hiking, or when you're going to the gym. But even for the gym, I actually prefer wearing a duffel bag, but that's totally up to you. You're not going to the gym to be stylish. And people will find so many excuses to refute this point. I've heard it all before. Not all my stuff fit in a briefcase. Why do you have to carry so many things around? Just leave your stuff at home and carry your essentials. I do it all the time. I carry my laptop, maybe my headphones, a few other smaller stuff, a book maybe, and that's it. You don't have to carry your entire house when you're going somewhere. Then people might say, oh, my hand gets tired. Switch your hand, it's not that hard. Being elegant is not about being comfortable. If I wanted to be comfortable, I'll go grocery shopping like some people go wearing their PJs at Walmart. But dressing well and presenting yourself as a gentleman is not about being comfortable. It's about making an effort to look good and decent and present yourself in the best light possible. Also, I will have another small tip for you. Get 2 briefcases instead of one. One on brown and one on black. Just like with every other single piece of leather you should wear, those should match your outfit. And of course, satchels are also a valid option, but only if your name starts with Indiana and ends with Jones. Item number 5, a proper tie. Now, there are 3 main issues that I have with the modern tie market. First of all, it's practically non-existent. Very few brands sell ties anymore. You go into your local Tommy Hilfiger store, let's say, you're not gonna find ties. You go into your local Calvin Klein, you're not going to find ties. Second of all, they are so boring and minimalistic. Even if you do find ties in a fashion brand store, they will most often than not either come in synthetic fabrics or very plain, boring designs that you've seen hundreds of times before. Also, let me not talk about the slim width. And third of all, the price. Sure, some brands still have decent quality ties available. Brands like Ralph Lauren. But are you really gonna spend 150 euros on a tie? Sure, for you it might be nothing, but some men might not want to spend the price of a shirt on a simple tie. Now, there is one place that I found that completely throws all those 3 points out the window. And that is Ota. And no, this is not a sponsored video, I promise. As for how many ties a gentleman needs, well, the sky's the limit basically. Some men collect skins on CSGO. Other men like myself collect ties. And I've really reached that point in which I have no idea where to put my ties anymore. I've run out of closet space. So if you have any ideas about that and how I can solve this problem, feel free to let me know in the comments. Item number 6, a white pocket square. Now this is the item that is most often missing from the wardrobes of men who actually dress well and wear suits. And in my opinion, if 2 men were to wear the exact same suit fitting them exactly the same way, this is what would differentiate between the man who simply put on a suit and the man who thinks that a suit is a lifestyle. You can definitely tell a lot about a person by whether he's wearing a pocket square or not. And keep in mind, the pocket square should never, and I mean never, match the tie. Sure, they should complement each other, but they should never fully match. You might have seen those sets of pocket square and tie that most often come up in department stores. I would never advise you to buy such an atrocity. Not only do they scream cheap, but they also say that you do not know what you're doing actually. And honestly, all you need is a white pocket square, either in linen or cotton, maybe silk. That's it. The white pocket square will go with anything, of course provided you're wearing a white shirt. If you're wearing a light blue shirt, then a light blue pocket square. It's that simple. Item number 7, a pair of lace-up dress shoes. And I actually have a video detailing the 5 pairs of shoes that every single gentleman must have in his wardrobe. Feel free to check that out right over there. But let's start off with the most important shoe in your wardrobe, and that is a simple black cap-toe Oxford. Now why an Oxford? Because no other shoe will ever work as well with a suit. Not a derby, not a blucher, not a monk strap, not a loafer, not a boot. No shoe will look as good with a 2-piece, a 3-piece, or even a double-breasted suit. This will allow you to walk with confidence, step into a room and feel like the man. But whatever you do, please never wear a suit with sneakers. This is such a faux pas and something I see so often, and it looks so awful. Please reserve your sneakers for chinos and polo shirts or linen shirts, for example, but never with suits. And the most important things when it comes to a quality pair of shoes is one, that it's either Goodyear welted or Blake stitched. You do not want your shoes to be glued together with glue. And second of all, that the leather is of a high quality and it's not just some plasticky looking leather thing. Some brand recommendations from my side when it comes to shoes is Carosso, Loke, which is my favorite, TLB Mallorca, and Crockett & Jones. Wearing a quality pair of shoes and having a wardrobe full of quality pairs of shoes will not only make you look better, but it will also teach you responsibility. Because with high quality leather, you want to regularly take care of your shoes, use stuff like the Saphir Renovateur and other waxes and creams. Item number 8, a proper shirt. Now the shirt is the most important item that you're gonna have in your wardrobe, because a suit cannot be worn without a quality shirt, but a quality shirt can be worn without a suit with simply a pair of trousers, especially during the summer. In fact, simply wearing a good shirt with your sleeves rolled up and a pair of trousers or chinos or any other pants of the sort is enough to create a very attractive outfit that many women are going to find desirable. Not only that, but a white shirt in particular is very versatile. It can be worn with anything from, of course, white tie, but that's an entirely separate type of shirt, to smart casual. So you can use the same shirt for wearing it with a suit or for wearing it with sneakers and jeans. I wouldn't really recommend it, but that's your thing. Now you will want your shirts to be made out of 100% poplin cotton. It's a lot better than other types of cotton, it's a lot less transparent, and depending on the fabric, of course, it might be more wrinkle resistant. But when it comes to buying a shirt, there's honestly just 2 choices that you have to make. First of all, it's the color. Do you want to have a spread collar, a semi-spread collar, a regular point collar, maybe something with a spear point if you're a bit more daring? And second of all, it's the sleeves. Some shirts come with French cuffs, some other shirts come with button cuffs, maybe even cocktail cuffs. I would love to have some cocktail cuffs. That's definitely a must buy for me. Item number 9, a proper umbrella. Manners maketh man. That one is actually true. The other one with Oxfords and Brogues, yeah, we don't talk about that one. Each one of us is going to face rain at some point or another. And a very bad thing you can do is let the rain drench your suit. I would highly advise you against it. An even worse thing that you can do is wear one of those disposable plastic raincoats that some people have. My parents have some of those, and yeah, we don't talk about that either. Many men nowadays carry foldable umbrellas, and in my opinion that's just not as traditional, classic, masculine looking as wearing a full-length umbrella, especially if it's a quality one. Sure, some might go for purchasing umbrellas from places such as Walmart for very cheap, but just think how ridiculous that would look next to a proper full-cut quality suit. It just wouldn't go. That's why I personally get my umbrellas from James Smith & Sons in London, London's oldest umbrella makers. It will only set you back about, let's say, $100, and it's honestly a great conversation piece and something that's gonna last you for a very, very long time. And item number 10, it's actually not really an item, but it's a well-researched personal style. At first, you will fail. Maybe you will wear suits with sneakers, or maybe you will wear the dreaded tie and pocket square combination. And that is absolutely fine, because the important thing is to learn from it. In my opinion, that's truly what differentiates men from boys, the willingness to improve every single day by at least 1%. And you do that by trying different things, by using apps such as Instagram and Pinterest for outfit inspiration, by reading books such as Adam Flosser's Dressing the Man, and by surrounding yourself with educational menswear content from channels such as mine, Sven Raphael Schneider's Gentleman's Gazette, or Kirby Allison's. And there's 3 vital steps that you need to take. First of all, you need to find your own style. Are you a vintage gentleman, modern day businessman, or a smart casual old money aficionado? Second of all, you need to improve your style at least 1% through the methods that I have previously mentioned. And third of all, once you have bought all 10 items on this list, which are essentials, you need to niche down and get items that will classify you as a knowledgeable and stylish gentleman. And if you do not know what those items are, well, you're in luck, because I have compiled a list that you can find right over here.